Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Sister Ali is joining us tonight to speak on her book, The Black Man's Guide to the Black Woman. I have to say that this is a profound work, and it gives the black woman a chance to stare into the mirror that she otherwise might avoid. And what I would like to do is just get right into it. Thank you again, Sister Shahrazad, for joining us tonight.
Yes, ma'am. The name of that book is The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman.
Oh, let me get that straight. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding
the Black Woman.
The Black
Woman.
In
that literature I sent you, yes. But everybody says The Black Man's Guide to the Black Woman, but it's The Black Man's Guide to Understanding. See, what our man needs is some understanding.
That's right. That's right. Say that.
He know how to get to us, so it ain't to the black woman. He know how to get to us. But once he get there, he need to understand what he rolled up on, you know.
Right. I'm with you on that. Okay. This is what we need to do. All right. I want to talk about, you have a list of the 7 attributes of a good black woman. Let's talk about those. What are these attributes that would define the good black woman?
Well, things have changed a lot, but change doesn't always mean better. Change just means different. So things are different now than they were 20 years, even 10 years ago, whatever. You know, we have just been on such a downward spiral on our behavior toward each other and in our communities. Mm-hmm. And so, essentially, there are still some universal principles that govern everything. And those principles still work. It has nothing to do with the time or the fashions or the weather, any of those things. There are certain universal principles that govern everything. And some of those principles, they work in every situation if you practice them. So one of the things that I'm going to just paraphrase these ideas. One of the things that I think we as black women should have is a better sense of humor.
Okay.
Because we tend to be mad a lot. Okay. I mean, we have an attitude, what we call it, attitude about every little thing, and sometimes we can hold that for 2 or 3 days.
Right.
And that bad attitude makes people not want to be around us, especially men.
Right.
You know, and so I tell the sisters, if you want to attract a man, then have a better attitude. Having a man or attracting a man, we think the totally wrong thing about how that works. It really has, and every man will just about tell you this. A real man will tell you that it really don't have nothing to do with our size, how big our behind is, what kind of hair we got. All of those things don't matter. You know what matters?
What?
They want somebody that'll give them peace, that they can get along with. They don't really care how she looks, you know. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that. We've seen a lot of times. We've seen what we thought was a very handsome brother, and he'd be with a sister, and we'd be like, "Oh God, how did she get him?" But she got him because she know how to act. Okay.
Right.
And
Speak
he
on
have
it.
Peace with her.
Right.
And it works in the same way in reverse. You know, we'll see sometimes sisters, and they'll be with a brother, and we'll say, "Now, what she want with him?" Mm-hmm. But it's because they're compatible, and they're able to get along with each other. Everybody wants somebody that they can get along with. It's not really about a lot of the things that we think it's about. You know, we get surgery, and we spend, $600-700 sometime on getting somebody else's hair put in our head because we think that'll make us more attractive to a man.
Right.
We're not getting that so other women will say, "Oh, that's beautiful." We're getting that because we think that'll make us more attractive. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot, as I said, it's not the legs. It ain't none of those things we think it is. It's none of that. They want somebody they can get along with. And one of the ways to get along is to have a better sense of humor. Some of it we just have to let it roll off, you know. And all of that, I want somebody who can accept me as I am. Ain't nobody going to accept us as we are.
Mhm.
Nobody wants that. And we say that and then immediately start trying to change the man. We want him to change, but we want somebody to just go along with all the nonsense we practice and say, that's okay, baby. Well, ain't nobody like that. That's not going to happen. And we need to stop looking for whatever this idea of perfection that we think exists, because it doesn't exist. Ask your own mother if you don't think so.
Mhm.
And I don't care if she's been married 40 or 50 years. Ask her, is it perfection? There's no such thing.
Mhm.
So you just have to just decide, I'm in it to win it, and I'm going to just, this is what I'm going to do, all right? And we need to, as I say, to have a better attitude, and we need to practice forgiveness. And the first person we need to forgive is ourselves, because all of the insecurities we have, we impose upon our surroundings. That's whether it's on our man, our children, or whatever. All of that we have going. So we need to have some forgiveness. And when we say forgiveness, that don't mean you forgive until something happens and then we throw it up. That means you have to really try to let that go and move on, because it's not going to benefit you to hold on with something bad, especially if you got a man, he did something you really, really don't like, or you thought you busted him with somebody else. If you don't want him no more based on that, then move on.
Right.
But if you're going to stay with him, then let it go.
Right.
You just got to let it go and move on. Okay, that's the end of that, and move on. We let a whole lot of things go, but it just don't usually concern our man. See?
Right. There you go.
Okay, because we let things go. But
yes,
we need, if we're going to stay with him, if you're going to stay with him, then let it go. It's not going to do you no benefit to keep bringing it up every day. It's not going to change the history. You can't do nothing about the past. The only thing we can impact and change is the future. So let it go. So that's one thing. Then be dependable. When I say that, I mean don't fight with food. The first thing we do if we with a man and we get mad is that I ain't cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fight with food. Food is what sustains life. So don't fight with food. Figure out something else to fight with. Don't fight with food. All right? Be dependable. Continue to wash the clothes, to do whatever you're supposed to do. If you're that upset, then tell him you got to go and stay with your sister a few days or leave or go somewhere and come back. But don't stay home and shut down and destroy the peace of the home. So we need to have dependability. Let's do what we're supposed to do and do it every day. That's how you build a nation. It's not about doing it every time you're happy.
Right.
Ain't nobody happy all the time.
That's right.
But you still must do the routine duties that keep the nation going. Your home, your relationship is your nation.
That's right.
That's the one you can work on, that you have some impact on. I run into so many sisters who are in all kind of clubs and sororities and organizations, and they don't have no peace at home. Mm-hmm. I say, you got a place. Get in that the club you got in your house. Get in that organization.
Mhm.
Yeah, that if we try to do that, that will work. And as I said, a lot of times we're waiting on something so spectacular, And Steve Harvey, he had that book out. Think like a woman, think like a man, act like a woman. Some old nonsense, whatever. Okay, Steve Harvey don't know how that go. He ain't had no successful relationships.
Oh, okay.
So he's telling you some of what he know about or whatever, but it ain't no success to lead, baby. The success is to stay.
That's right. That's
okay?
right.
That's how you grow. That's how you make it work, and that's how you look back over that journey.
Mhm.
And as I said, I don't care who they married to. Everybody gonna go through it, baby. We living in America where every kind of evil and filth that's imaginable is practiced, and we will be touched by it. And you have to be strong enough as a woman to get past it, and don't sacrifice your family and your man if it's any way possible. All right. The next thing is know how to cook. There was a time if a man said he wanted a wife, Jolivette, he could say, well, I want her to be able to keep house and I want her to be a good cook. Well, if you want a woman today, you better not say you want her to be able to cook. You won't never get no woman.
Right.
Because women don't cook no more.
Right. That's true.
They don't even teach it. It's not even taught with the young girls. In fact, they think it's cute to say, "Oh, I can't cook."
Don't cook, right?
Yeah. And so now, food, as I said again, is what sustains life.
That's right.
And we are very powerful in that sense because that gives us a lot of power because we can decide how long our man is going to live, what condition he's going to be in while he lives, and all of those kind of things. We have that power by what we feed him.
That's right.
And so we have to know how to cook, how to prepare food. And if you prepare food every night and have dinner, I guarantee you, whatever the man you're dealing with, he'll swing through there every day at dinner. Because they're all looking for food. They all want to eat. Learn to bake a cake. Do those kind of things. Men love that kind of stuff. Women keep thinking we so modern, ain't nobody got to deal with all of that. Oh, no, that hasn't changed. In fact, we haven't did a lot of changing. The environment has changed, and it has influenced us to make us think we have to change and get with that. And it hasn't worked for us. Now, maybe it worked for white people or Latinos or Asians, but it hasn't worked for us. We need the basics. We need role clarification, gender identification. We need all of those basic things in our communities. And that community is in your house.
Right.
You know, that's where you need that at. We need to be flexible and be able to accept change. If it's time to move, or if somebody lose their job so we can't spend as much as we used to, or like right now, these are very trying times. You know, I live in a fairly nice little community, but when I go up to the grocery store where I see a lot of more people from different other communities because it's one of them superstores, when I go into the grocery store up there, I see the sisters, and they're around the first of the month, second of the month. You see the sisters in the grocery store with the carts full of food and with the man. Now, if I see these people any other time of the month, I don't see no man with them. But when they have the food stamps and the different stuff and they buy groceries, that brother be right there, pushing that cart, doing whatever they got to do, okay? And I look at that's interesting because they trying to find some food to eat. They want to eat, you know. And as I said, again, historically, women have been in charge of food, the gathering of food and preparing it and stuff like that. Well, that hasn't changed just because now we might do it in the microwave or the oven or whatever. Women that's still, you know, historically been our job. And it's not saying men can't cook. Some of the greatest chefs and tailors in the world are men. We know that. But as women, we, with our children and stuff in the home, should have some say-so about the diet because that will determine in the next 10, 20, 30 years the condition of your family's health. It's a very powerful position. You know, so we need to be flexible if things have to change up, and we need to, if our man has children by another woman, we need to be flexible to accepting those children into our household and environment. Men, and I was the first one to put this out there and make it an issue, men don't love their children any less because they don't live with them. They don't love their children any less than us because we birthed them. They love them the same. They just express it the same. A father is not another mother.
Right.
And because most of us as black women have not had a father, we don't know what to expect from one anyway, so we want him to be just like us and deal with the child. No, don't do it like that. This is how you do that with it. Well, they're not going to do that. I remember I was in some city, and I was in a store, and one woman in one line, and she had the baby. The baby was in a stroller. And so she took the baby out the stroller and was giving it the bottle in her arms. It was a brother in there. He was pushing the baby in the stroller. The baby was crying. He took the bottle out of the bag in the back and just handed it to the baby. Here. Okay. The baby took the bottle and started drinking it. So I thought about, now that's very interesting. You know, I notice everything that we do because I be studying it. I said, now that's very interesting. Now, we wouldn't think of just handing the baby the bottle saying, here, you know, because we think you got to hold it and hold the bottle and everything. But if that baby is raised by a man and been trained differently, he just handed him the bottle. Like, here, man. And the baby took the bottle and started drinking it. I said, now that is so cute. Look at that.
Right.
Both of the babies had food, but they did it differently. But they still reached the same goal. The baby got full and everything, okay? So
Correct.
now they were toddlers, really. They wasn't baby arm babies. But this is so interesting that we think that we know how to do everything, and if it's not done like we say do it, then it's wrong. You know. Well, we have to learn to be more flexible and give them some credibility to do some things the way they do it, as long as it's not dangerous. You know? We have to do that. That would keep us from being so critical, because we are overly critical.
Yeah.
You know, we know everything, so we are very critical. And we tend to treat him critical. We treat him like one of the children sometimes. We have to try to not do that.
Right.
We're not smarter than him. We just do things differently than he do. That don't mean we're smarter. You know. And that's a hard lesson, because we do think we know everything. And maybe the way we do it does take a shorter time. Maybe it comes out we think, you know, better or whatever, but that doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. So, you know, that's helpful when we do that, you know. And we need to try to be satisfied with the man that God gave us. Now, that means that we need to try to please him. That doesn't mean that we walk around the house looking like a bum all day, all week, and then when it's time to go out, we jump and get fined so that other people can look at us and enjoy how we look. And we have that mixed up. And we, in fact, a woman take her man's life in his hands every time we go out with tight clothes on or revealing clothes or with our butt out or breast out or shorts or whatever. Our man's life is in our hands.
Right.
Because if somebody says something to us too far out of the way, he got to defend us, even if we're wrong.
That's right.
So that put his manhood on the line. And people ain't fisticuffing no more out there.
No, they're not.
It's a whole different world. So we need to stop trying to prove to our man that other men think we're fine too. And we do that by the way we dress. And that's very important. Even we let our little daughters dress like that.
That's right.
And our men, as a result of having been taught out of their nature, they don't have the discipline to withstand these teenage girls who are out here with their bodies out and pretending that they're a woman.
Right.
And so if we want to protect our girls, then we have to teach them how to dress. And we have to have support in that from our immediate family members. Our little girls who are in the first and second grade do not need heels on their shoes. They don't need great big earrings big as a cup bottom on their ears. They don't need all of that. They don't need 50,000 beads in their head and have to try to sleep in that every night. They don't need thongs, and they don't need tight jeans. We're living in a world where people have all kinds of filthy ideas. We have to teach our daughters to be modest. That makes a man proud when he knows his women are in order.
Right.
They have to teach our daughters to be modest. You can't wait until she's 13 to say, stop wearing those short shorts. Take off that halter top. You can't wait till then. If you train her up to be modest from a little child, then she'll continue to be that way. Okay? We have this idea that men are only attracted to women who have all their clothes off. Well, a certain kind of man is attracted to that, but he ain't attracted to it because he want to get married to you and go buy you a house and live with you. It ain't for that reason.
Right.
You know, so we have to try to just be more upright women. You know, we could clean our men up almost overnight if we dress differently and don't accept his nonsense, because he'll do whatever he got to do to get next to us. They want us. They'll do anything. Whatever it is we require, they'll do it. But since we don't require nothing, they don't do nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
You know, and so if we want him to straighten up, all we got to do is straighten up. And then he'll have to get it together because he's going to be trying to get next to us. But whatever he got to do, he'll do it.
Right.
Women don't believe that. That's because we're so desperate and we're so insecure. We think, oh, no, if I don't give him sex when I first meet him, he will not want me.
Right.
And that's just not the truth. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
And those are bad habits. And once that habit gets into a family, it creates the confusion of where you have the mothers and the daughters after the same man. All that kind of nonsense we got going on there, you know. It's just a mess out here.
It is.
It just is, you know. But a good black woman, as I said, she, you know, will dress in a more modest way so that her man can appreciate her. And if your man is so immature that he thinks the only way he can feel proud of you is if some other man is trying to hit on you, well, then you with the wrong man.
Mhm.
Okay. And the other way a good black woman functions is that she tries to understand the position that our man has been in this country for the past almost 500 years.
Right.
I say all the time, we don't have any idea what it's like to be a black man in America. He got to watch everybody go past him and be successful just about. Okay? Now, we have some black men out here who just give in to their low desires, and that's all they want to do is have a woman for that reason. We need to skip that man. We need to stop behaving as if the only place that we know how to excel is in bed.
Right.
That we have so many other great talents in the home and as a woman and a mother that we can be other than just doing tricks in bed.
That's right.
You know? We need to try to discourage our sisters from being in the strip shows, the strip joints and everything, even though her excuse is, well, this is how I pay my bills and all that nonsense. We need to try to discourage that because bringing those kind of low desires in our community, it brings all of us down. It brings all of us down. And, you know, we need to work on that. We need to, as black women, set a good example for our daughters. We always talk about our men, and when we look at our daughters, I mean, we see the condition we've allowed them to grow up into because we didn't intervene in time. It has to start from when they're little. It can't be when they get big. It's too late. Yeah. So a good black woman is on her job. Right. And we can demand respect by being on that kind of job. And I'm not just talking this because I'm at this stage of my life. This is how I have been since the 60s. I recognized the time and what must be done because I had a good teacher. You know. But this is, you know, things I learned and that I've been teaching all of those years. Right. Trying, you know, to get us to understand. And I have sisters who come back and they say, you know, I fought against it at first, but then I finally just, you know, I just gave in and said, well, I'm going to just see. She said, in my life it's been totally different. Right. It will be. Then our man will have a spirit for it. Sometimes we don't even know the man we're with because we never give him a chance to be himself. And they make a lot of mistakes because they're learning how to be in charge, those good men, the few that we have left. They be trying to do it, trying to make it work out. Right. But we have to decide if we're going to be a help or a hindrance.